What on guys, Commander here, and welcome to a new video on Unreal Engine, another tutorial video. Now, what we're going to be doing today is basically continuation from last episode. Now, if you don't remember last episode, go watch it, link in the description down below. Basically, what we did is we got this Master Chief model here, that you can see on the screen now, and this was originally a Garry's Mod Workshop model. And basically what we did is we got that model and we transferred it into Unreal Engine. Now this is what it looks like at the moment. Now what we're going to be doing is a texture rework in a sense, and we're going to change it from looking like this to looking like this, which is on this picture that's on the screen now. Now this is something I did earlier, so it may look slightly different, it may not, it depends on how accurate I can get it. I haven't got a lot of the little numbers written down, so I'm just going to do it the best I can, but I'm going to go through the same process. And maybe for you, what the picture that's on the screen is not very accurate, and maybe there's a few things you'd like to change, but I'm going to show you the process that I went through, so when you come and you can do it in the exact same process. It's just done with in a different way with different numbers. So basically what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be changing the color of the armor. Now this is basically the most simplest thing of it. So what you need for this model especially, you need to find the correct materials for the correct parts of the body. Now in this case we've got Master Chief, ignore the lights because that's not relevant. Got Master Chief, we got Master Chief Black, we got Master Chief Rubber, and we got Visor Real Time. Now the black is little black bits for his armor kit, up here and whatnot. The rubber is the black bits, and the Master Chief is the armor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this. Actually, no, we don't need to go into this. What we need to do is we need to go into the texture. Now what this does is it basically, if I we need to go down here. Now we're going to adjustments. Now what we need to do is to get it to the color that I showed you on the picture beforehand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this over here. I'm going to stick this over here, and I'm going to stick the picture of what the normal one, what it's meant to look like afterwards on the side of the screen, just to show you what it should look like. So basically what we got is we've got brightness curve, vibrant, saturation, RGB curve, hue, min alpha, max alpha, chroma key texture, and these two down here. Now there's not a lot that we need to do with this. We just need to the main thing we can do is basically just adjust the brightness, because as you can see, just the brightness, it makes things lighter. Now I think if we just go up, go up in bits of 10. So what you need to do is if we go up in groups of 10, you can already see that it's started to make it look a bit lighter. So what I'll stick that down there just so we can see parts of the helmet. So if we go down to 10, so go up a bit more. Now if it's too much, then just bring it down a bit. So I'm going to go back down to 7. It's alright. Let's go down to 6. That's alright. Let's go 6.5. Still a bit much. So we'll go down to 6.5. And I think that actually looks really quite nice. Maybe slightly too light. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to saturation. We'll put that down to 2. That makes it a bit more greener, so maybe 1.5 would make it look a little bit less green. See, now that's actually really good. That's a really good, nice effect. It's lighter, it's brighter, and it's more green. Now I can just stick this down to 0.2 just to give it that little bit of still saturated, but it's a bit duller. But what I'm actually going to do is stick it to 1.3, just give it that bit more. Let me try 1.4. Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to do, let's do 1.35. So that's all I'm going to do for that one. So now I click save and exit off of it. So that's what we got so far. Now, the only disadvantage to this is that now all of these black, the rubber bits, are in fact affected by the texture that we've just created, which is not exactly very useful. So what I'm going to do is if I go into my file explorer, here we've got the materials for Chief's armor. Now what I want to do is I want to go the Master Chief texture, bring that in as a second. I can't know, it's all really important. So what I'll do is I change this, rename it. If I copy and paste it, come in as Master Chief .copy. So that's the base texture again. So now if I go into the Master Chief Black, if I scroll over to here, now this is the base one, this is the normal map, so I won't bother with that. So if we delete that, import this old one, but this the base one back in, stick the RGB back into base color. Now what that'll then do is it'll then change the relevant texture to the original, so it should be more black and less light. So if we go into save, now that is if this is the black one, it probably show up a bit better on the rubber. But if we go into that, as you can see, it's all got a bit more black, and the armor is still very much like light. So it's basically using the relevant texture from the old texture and put it onto the new texture. The only thing you got to be careful of is that you rename the file, because otherwise the Unreal Engine doesn't like also rename it, so it's copy. You have to do that yourself, otherwise it won't import. So, but it's an easy thing. If you just copy and paste it, Windows Explorer will automatically just put copy on the end of it. It'll continuously just do that, so you can just continuously do it. But you don't really want to do it unless it's like any more different than it needs to be. I mean, you could theoretically, like, as you can see now, we've got the full black armor. Now, what you can do is you can modify this texture to make it a bit more like the black, a bit more like darker. But I'm not going, or a bit more lighter if that's what the sort of thing you're going for. But I'm not going for that, so I'm just going to keep it just as it is. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm actually just doing it, learning as I go along, because I didn't actually do this like texture, the retexture with the picture that we've got. So I'm doing things as well. So if you want to play back with that, you can. I think that looks pretty cool, so I'm not going to bother changing it. So now onto the visor. Now the visor is a little bit different. Now there's two ways you can do the visor. Now you can choose how this looks. You can choose which one you do based on how it looks. Now, what I'm going to do is something that I did try with the armor, but it didn't look too good, so I'm not going to bother doing it in this tutorial. But if you want to, the same process I'm going to do with the visor works with the armor. So what you need to do is, if you go into visor real time, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to give this visor a little more of like a glassy sort of look and make it look more like glass, a bit like glass metal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here, into the nodes with the textures, and basically I'm going to input the visor real time in again. And as you can see, we've got the RGB. Now at the moment we've got RGB all together going into base. Now if we stick these in individually, it'll give us different effects. So if we stick R into ambient occlusion, G into roughness, and B into, now you can stick it into specular or metallic. I'm going to stick it into metallic to start off with, and I'll show you what the difference is in specular. Again, this is the sort of thing you can just mix them about, see what effect you like best. But what I'm going to do in a second is, as you can see here, we've got like a little like reflective look on the material anyway. But what I'm going to do afterwards, I'm going to show you a way to do it, which I personally think is a lot better. And it's based off the picture that you see at the moment. So what we've got at the moment is not what the picture is. This is a different way of doing it. This is how I did it originally. So as you can see, the lighting's not particularly very good on this map because I haven't built the lighting. But as you can see, it's very much like it's glass. You know, it is quite dark. But that's fine. I'm not sure if I can just build the lighting. Let's see if we can just build the lighting. It might help a bit. Because what I'm more focused on is doing it with the visor, because the visor is the thing that looks very much glassy. Now, I was basically, when I was prepping for this video, because basically what I've done is I just continuously just tried different things with this to make it for the best video I possibly can. And basically what I did was I went through a load of different tutorials, and what I was aiming for was getting the Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo Infinite visor feel to the Master Chief's armor. To his visor in particular. So that sort of like glossy sort of look. So the glossy look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did as far as the picture is concerned. Now what we need to do is we need to take out these two here. And what we need to do is we need to input this custom picture that I've made, the visor custom color 1. Now if you want to do this, all I did to make this texture was go on, you can go, I use Photoshop, but if you want to use something like GIMP, Paint, oh god, I can't think of anything else, but Illustrator, anything that, GIMP is the best free one that I know. You can use Paint if you want to, but it's a bit fiddly, so I personally wouldn't. But GIMP is the best free one that I know you can use, and that basically all you do, open it up, create a new canvas, 920 by 1080, because it doesn't really matter the size necessarily, but 1080p, 920 by 1080 is the best one you can do. one that I would recommend, because that's what I use for this video here. But so 920 by 1080, make a box, recolor it, and what I'll do is I'll put on the screen now the code that I used, because I can't quite remember what it was. But that's the code that I got this color with. Basically, save as a JPEG or a PNG. This is saved as a JPEG, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, saved as a JPEG. And just import it as you would do normally. Now, what you need to do is you need to input it in. Only you put it in once, but put the R in ambient occlusion, G into roughness, and B into metallic. Now, I think that's the way I did it. Now, if I click apply and then click save, that should just give it that really nice, like, glossy, like metal effect, as if it's a metal visor. Now, this may work, this may not. I hope it does, because if it doesn't, for some reason the color doesn't like it. Oh, I know why. That's because you actually do have to put it in twice. So if I put the color in again, stick the base color in, stick the RGB into the base color, now click apply. Yeah, so you do need to put it in twice. You do need to put it in twice because it needs to have a base color to work with. Now, this isn't, now as you can see from here, it doesn't look very like glossy and metallic. So if we just look at the visor now, so that is what it is. So it basically looks matte at the moment. But that's the color that we're going for. Now, when we get into looking at the actual, like, thing itself, the color itself, and getting the little, like, the glassy effect to it, it will look a lot better. But that still looks quite good just as it is if you want it matte. But make sure to keep the normal map in here, because the normal map is what makes the indentation. So you just want to get rid of the texture. The normal map you keep in. Ah, there we go. That's it. This is how it is. So basically, the red, because orange is a very metallic sort, like a red sort of color, you just take the red node into metallic. But as you can see here, that looks very much nice. So is it saved? Yeah, it's saved. And as you can see, it looks really, really cool. Now, what I'm gonna try and do is, I'm just gonna swap the B and the G around. So stick G into specular and stick B into roughness and see how that affects it. I can't quite remember how good I got the actual picture because I haven't seen it yet. But that, oh, now that. Now if that actually shows up, I got it better than the picture. Now that, it's a little bit much. It is a little bit much, and just on a video game sense, that is a bit much, but that's actually pretty cool. Now, I can't actually go into my play game environment, because if I click play, I'm literally just flying about. I haven't even got my controls configured, so I can't actually do that. But that actually looks really cool. Now, if I just twist him about a minute, now that's sort of the effect that I was going for, to have it like a mirror, because if you look at the Master Chief's visor in Halo, oh Christ, in the first Halo Infinite trailer, it's like it's a mirror, because you can reflectively see the mirror behind him of the Warthog. But if I just change his stance a minute, and just, where's the little controller thing? So if I just get that and just stick this like that, he will move because he's not quite centered off. But that looks really cool. Now if I just move it like that, because that would just stay as it is, so I can't really do anything with the reflection that is there. But that looks really, like, cool. Now if that is a bit too much, if you just revert it back, if I could just save that, yeah, that'd be fine. So what I'm actually going to try and do is, if I stick the blue into let's stick blue into ambient occlusion and see what that does to it. Now that might not do anything, might make it look even worse, but I want that mirror effect to it, but I don't want it to be so overpowering. And maybe just give it a bit of ambient occlusion. See, no, that's just completely just made it go away. So what I'm going to do is, if I take this out, let's take B back into roughness, and let's take specular out, and stick G into ambient occlusion and see where that leads us. That may not work, it may work, we'll see. See, this is the sort of thing with these sort of things. I spent ages... Oh, that looks a bit better. Let's see how that looks. That might look better with a bit of ambient occlusion in it. Now, see that, again, that doesn't really look much better, but it's still, I don't know. I don't know. I like that effect. That'd be quite good. Now, the only in animation, if I was to animate this character, that visor would probably do quite well. The only problem is as static, it looks worse than it actually is. Again, if I was to animate it, it would probably look a lot better. But what I'm going to do is if I stick, if I get my G, stick the, what I actually want to do before we end this episode, what I was actually meant to say is I'm lucky his visor is a separate model, but what I just want to do is I want to see if I can actually get like that reflectiveness on his armor. Now, this is just to say this is going to look absolutely awful, and I know it's going to look absolutely awful, but I'm very intrigued. If we stick, now what I need to stick G into metallic, I need to stick B into specular, and I need to stick red into roughness. Again, because it's a very greeny model, green needs to go into the metallic. But I'm really interested in how this is going to look. Again, it probably doesn't look very good because it's metallic. Actually, looking at that actually looks really good. Actually, that doesn't look too bad considering. Alright, I'm sort of happy I've done that. Okay, so now that's the end of the tutorial here. Maybe if I let's stick blue into, if I take blue out of specular, take that into ambient occlusion and see where we get. I'm just consistent that this is how you do things, so especially with things like Unreal Engine and texturing. It's just trial and error. Because this has got better since I took that screenshot. See, again, this is the sort of thing that I was on about, how it doesn't look too... this is the sort of effect that I don't like. But anyway, that previous effect is what I actually thought was actually really good. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I shall see you all later. Bye!